Okay, so full transparency before we get started with this video. Your boy's a dummy. So I definitely already recorded this video that I'm about to do now, but I forgot to hit the record button. So I did a whole spiel of talking to literally nobody but myself. So we're gonna try this again. Hopefully I can stay on track, and hopefully yeah, okay, recording is going, so this will actually happen this time. So this video should have been up hours ago, but again, like I said, I'm a dummy, so we're gonna jump into it. Basically what we're gonna talk about today is the Dokkan schedule. So this is a snippet from the May producers letter that we got, right? This is kind of their first description of how they're gonna lay out the new format for the year. So typically we start with the JP anniversary, right? January, February, roll into Saiyan Day, Golden Week, which we are currently in, which is kind of wrapping up at this moment. And then June is kind of like a normal, just kind of whatever. And it used to be that in July, the end of June, right? JP would get Tanabata started. Early July, Global would start their anniversary. And then come, September, the worldwide campaign would go on. So now they're kind of switching things up a little bit. So we're keeping the anniversary for both right now with the, the sync that we've got going on. The anniversary is going to be at the beginning of the year. Saiyan Day and Golden Week are unchanged. The biggest changes here are going to come to worldwide and Tanabata. So they're rebranding the worldwide campaign as the Global Dokkan campaign, and they're actually moving it up. So in the original time slot where the anniversary for Global would have been is now going to be worldwide. And then down where worldwide used to be will be a sort of Tanabata equivalent celebration is kind of how they described it. So this is the format we were first given. After this morning, we actually received this tweet from Dokkan that actually talks a little bit more about this schedule. So this kind of lays it out a little bit better, right? So they got the unification stuff here, the before and after. So again, January, February used to be JP's anniversary. Global got kind of just whatever Dokkan Fest that JP had gotten once before. Now we're moving it into a Dokkan Supreme celebration. So that's really the anniversary of the game, right? Because the Japanese version started first, so it's the anniversary. Then we're going to move into the July-August timeframe, where Tanabata and the global anniversary was slated. And as you can tell by this graphic here, the way they kind of outlined it, they're moving the anniversary for global and worldwide, kind of throwing it together and making it the Global Dokkan campaign. So in them doing this, they're doing two big anniversary style celebrations a year, which is crazy. So we saw for the 10th anniversary, right, they did there's a Dokkan Fest and 2 carnivals. I don't think they're going to keep that schedule. I think that's a little bit much. Maybe for this year they do, but after next year's anniversary and next year's Global Dokkan campaign, I think we're going to see that drop back down. But, the chances are there that we have the 3 and 3 again, right? Having 6 LRs would be cool. It would definitely hurt people's stone counts, that's for sure, depending on what it was. But I think this is a cool idea, right? A lot of people floated around or flirted with the idea of having something bigger in that time slot where Global's anniversary would have been, besides just Tanabata, right? I was kind of on the side that I thought it would be cool, but I thought they were just going to stick with the format as it was, right? Tanabata, we just celebrate at the same time, move into worldwide later on, celebrate at the same time. But they're actually doing a big swap here. So they even show the Tanabata campaign is getting moved, and it's a new campaign. So they may not call it Tanabata, but it's going to be some sort of Tanabata equivalent style celebration, which is still a pretty decent celebration, right? It's usually where we get a big Dokkan Fest LR that usually holds on pretty well for the year. So basically, the main point of this video is just talking about how this stuff is switching up. So as you can see, we're getting 2 major celebrations for the year. which I think is incredible. Such a smart move, I think, because instead of doing, you know, how it was with the anniversary, you have the anniversary at the beginning of the year, have worldwide at the end of the year, and then you're basically rolling a couple months back into anniversary. Now it's split up, right? So you've got beginning of the year, you got the main anniversary, you've got the middle of the year being the global Dokkan campaign, and the end of the year being this Tanabata celebration, which is very smart, in my opinion, of the way that they're kind of breaking that up. So they did a very good job with explaining this and kind of showing it. You know, we're getting ready to roll out of Golden Week. We're going to roll into the next celebration, which is just going to be a normal celebration. I expect the Dokkan Fest probably around the 30th, right? Global's got maintenance coming up on the 28th. I think that's when we'll get like all the details and Twitter videos and all that stuff. And then you got the data download that comes right after it. You know, all that stuff's going to end up being in the data. And then, you know, we'll roll into the next day being the Dokkan Fest actually dropping. And then something I don't see a lot of people talking about is, you know, people talking about the timing of when things are dropping. I mean, they did talk about this. So with the Dokkan Special Day being the 15th and 30th, I think they're going to try to, at least for the year, you know, if this is only for this year or if they continue this on, they're going to try to center the drops to be around the 15th and 30th, right? Because that's what these tickets are for. These tickets are made for summoning on the new banners. So the Dokkan Fest banners, the LR banners, or Carnival banners, whatever they may be, that's what these are designed for. So I think we can see, you know, it gives us a little bit better judgment of when things might be dropping. So usually probably around the 14th, 15th, and then probably around the 29th, 30th, or 30th, 31st, something like that, right? That way these are right there, they're usable. You don't have to sit there and wait on the banner or wait on these to come out before you can summon on the banner. I think they're going to want these to kind of coincide with the banners themselves. So I think that's what we could see. You know, we're seeing the 30th of this month, I think is next Dokkan Fest. Probably the 15th will be the next LR, and then maybe around the 30th is when the global campaign could start, right? The 30th of June. And then we kind of roll into it, right? Because that's when Tanabata started. You know, Tanabata was always at the 30th of June and then rolled into July. Whereas the global anniversary always started in July, like July 7th, and then rolled through into August. So I think instead of waiting for that July 7th, they're going to stick around the 30th and then kind of go into there. Right? Because what would be the point of dropping the special tickets for something that doesn't even come out that day? It wouldn't make sense to me. So I think this makes sense for the way they're going to start funneling out the celebrations, the way they're going to drop the units. It just, to me, it makes the most sense instead of dropping them, you know, each randomly around like 2 weeks-ish apart, and it ends up falling on like a 12th or a 23rd or whatever, like randomly, right? Trying to keep it more centered around these dates just makes more sense, at least to me. Now, there may be some factors that, you know, things fall on weekends or whatever, that maybe they'll kind of shake that up a little bit. And that's why I give it a little leeway, you know, 14th, 15th, 16th, or 29th, 30th, 31st-ish time frame for how they do that. You know, it could work. So the next Dokkan Fest, I expect to be on the 30th. After that, you know, we could see 15th or 16th for the LR, or even the 13th, right? Could drop on the 13th. And then, you know, we come to the end of June, the 30th, right? That Monday could be the start of the global Dokkan campaign. I mean, for this, I would like to see Daima, obviously. Daima is my big factor, my big hope for a big celebration. I really don't want to wait until the next anniversary for it, and I want these guys to get the love that they deserve, and getting beautiful animations, beautiful card arts, you know, awesome kits and all that stuff. And I think these kinds of celebrations are the ones where you would see the most of that, right? You hear a lot of people talk about it. The anniversary and the worldwide units always do so well throughout the entire year. They're almost unmatched, you know, they're on par with each other. So I just think global Dokkan campaign is the best spot to see Daima drop, right? Super Saiyan 4, Super Saiyan 3s, Goma, Kuindu, like all that stuff. I want to see it all come out, you know, during this big celebration. And if they decide to stick to these 6 LRs, I mean, they could cover so much, right? But again, I think that's a little bit of a cope. I think we're going to go back to the 4 LR format. I think it's easier for everybody that way instead of summoning for 6 characters, only summoning for 4. But we'll see. We'll see what they want to do this year. This is supposed to be a big year for them. They've got a lot of stuff coming, a lot of things changing. So yeah, I mean, that's really, I think all I really wanted to talk about for this video. I think some of this other stuff I had pulled up was just kind of timeline things. So talking about, you know, the current campaign we've got going on, you know, looking down here at where's the Elder Kai banner? Yeah. So the 30th at 12:59 a.m., 1 a.m., 30th, I believe that's the next Dokkan Fest, right? We've got the maintenance coming up. So this is starting on the 28th, going through the 29th. So once we come out of this, we'll get the data download. We'll have everything in there. So I think, you know, Wednesday, either early Wednesday morning or Wednesday evening, or hell, even Thursday, like earlier morning, you know, I think that's when we'll see the Dokkan teasers. I think that's when we'll see the Twitter announcements. So it's coming up very soon, right? So that's a week away, you know, a little bit less than a week away for the maintenance and everything. I guess we'll see if Dokkan can beat Ice Seriously to the punch. If he leaks things first, you know, it's always an option, man. It can happen. He's got ways of seeing that stuff. So, you know, be prepared for that. If leaks are coming, and you don't like them, you know, kind of, I'd stay off around this time, maybe a day or two before. I'd stay away from anything Twitter, anything YouTube related to Dokkan if you don't want to be spoiled. If you don't care, we'll be here. We'll cover it if it happens. If not, we're going to cover the main release anyway, or the official release by Dokkan as it is. Some of this other stuff, yeah, this is just pulling that up, and this is just looking at the old worldwide celebrations and stuff like that for, you know, the different timelines that we used to have. So this site doesn't get updated very often anymore, but, you know, looking at the timelines for things, you know, in August, September time, that's when we're going to start seeing the, you know, worldwide, or that's when we would have had worldwide, and now it's moving up, and that's probably the spot that we'll see Tanabata fall into. So yeah, I think that's really it. I guess this was another thing. The summon points is coming. So they announced this in the producer's letter as well. This is going to be implemented into the next Dokkan Fest, so the one that comes out on the 30th. This is going to be a new way that they're enticing people to summon. And I mean, it makes sense to drop it then, right? It's the one before the big celebration. So I don't think they're going to be doing these during big celebrations. I think it's going to be during normal Dokkan. Well, I mean, hell, they could. This could be a way they keep this, because big celebrations, they don't do pity, right? So having the summon points is still another way for you to roll in and try to get the, well, actually, no, they do pity, right? You collect a certain amount of shit and you can pick up the new characters. Yeah. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore, guys. I'm still irritated with earlier and going through this and now having to redo it. But yeah, so summon points are coming. We'll see how this really works once the new Dokkan Fest comes out. I'm sure they'll put out something in-game or on Twitter that has a more detailed description of how this is going to play out and how this is going to work. It'd be nice if they dropped a video and kind of explained it, but I don't think they will. I think they'll just put out some sort of, like, not a newsletter, but, you know, some sort of drop on Twitter or in-game and just kind of talk about it, right? But this is coming. It's a new way to be able to pull the new units. Yeah, I mean, it's something. So it's different. We'll see how that works. And then I don't think there's anything else in this. That was the Kale and Cauliflower reveal. The web store, you know, a way for them to, when you purchase things through the app, instead of Apple or Google, whatever the Play Store is getting a cut of their profits, this is a way for them to actually get a full profit, which is, it's cool. I mean, it's good for them. It supports them a little bit more. Things are going to be a little bit cheaper, which is nice. They don't have to account for Apple stealing some of their money. So Yeah, a little bit long-winded, but I think this is gonna do it for here. I just really wanted to talk about this, and then once I saw this drop this morning, I figured now's a great time to really just drop this video and talk about it a little bit more. I'm looking forward to this. I think it's gonna be cool. I like that they're shaking things up with the schedule. It makes it a little more fresh, a little more fun. And again, having the 6-month gap between anniversary and quote unquote worldwide, right? The global Dokkan campaign, I think is a much better format than waiting, 8 or 9 months and then waiting like 3 months. And then all of a sudden we're back at anniversary again. So this is cool. I like this. We'll probably see the anniversary characters come back for this, which is going to be great. You get a chance to summon for them too again. And I think these, whatever they come out with, I think will probably be on par with the anniversary characters that we got. So I think that's going to do it for this video. Let me know if I missed anything, if there's anything more you guys want to talk about with this, because I think this is super cool and I'm 100% down to discuss this with you guys further if we need to. So if you guys stuck around to the end of the video, I appreciate you. Thank you for hanging out with me. Let me know what you guys think of this new format. Let me know what you guys think is going to be coming for the global Dokkan campaign. What do you want to see? What do you think is going to be there? Do you think we're going to have a bunch of events and it's going to be a real big, like actually anniversary sized, or is it going to be kind of a shrunken down anniversary? I don't know. We'll see. Let me know you guys' thoughts, and we will check back on this hopefully again here soon. So like, subscribe, do the thing, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.